We are live on YouTube. You can start now. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Dear heads of institutions, the teachers, and then the office assistants, present in this meeting today. It's been quite some time, like we are not able to have a physical meeting with our heads of institutions, but then it's now one good thing with online meeting is we can accommodate so many of you in one go, in one meeting. That is one advantage, provided we have good connectivity. And then it's good to see that today we have a very good number of our schools participating in this online meeting also. And as our Chief Coordinator IT has already spelled out the purpose of today's meeting, we are here again to seeking your support and cooperation to go ahead with the online form filling up of our candidates for the HSLC and then the higher secondary school living certificate examination. To do anything, it's good, but it is not always as easy as we think. And so my sincere request to our heads of institutions to present today is we have to join hands together to make this online form submission possible. Last year, we have already started, we have already tried with the online form filling up of forms, and then many schools have tried that also, and then it was a success story for us. And so, like once we have started this last year, of course, like since students cannot come to the school and with the pandemic, and then that they need to send their forms. For all those reasons, we have started with this online form submission. But then now it's high time for even NBSC to have this provision. And so, like, if we have this provision, means now you don't have to come and submit your forms to the NBSC. You don't have to travel from Mon to Kohima or Twingsang to Kohima, or I mean, Kipiri to Kohima. So, in one way, we have many advantages for having this provision of online submission of the IEF forms of our students. And so now that we have started, it's not going back. We have to move forward, and then we have started last year, and this everyone will come on board, and then everyone will come on board, and that last year only few schools might have tried. And so this year, that all our 723 schools will come on board. For some, it will be totally a new thing. But then one good thing is now all our registered schools are registered with us. And so, you know, like, you know, and then your assistant, the office assistant, or your teachers know how to do this online submission of the results and all these things, your reports. I believe we are doing well. And then initially, like to take it off smoothly, sometimes with our network issues, maybe there some institutions or somewhere there will be problems also. But then we have to overcome all these things, and that your students should be made to understand that the forms will be submitted online. So they also have to give the correct particulars, the particulars of your students, as on 1st April you have already given us. So that also, it's not something a totally new particular you're going to give us, but then our technical team will give you more details on how to fill up the forms. But then it is our sincere request to our heads of institutions and then the assistants who will be handling with the form filling up by the students, and then the checking and all these things. You have to do it properly. and then you have to satisfy yourself. Only then you have to submit the forms to us. And you're not going to send one by one to us, but then once you do for all your students, the number, then all your students have filled up, means the payment of the fees also, it will be together along with the forms. And even the repeaters group also, it will come together as one, because even if the students can fill up on their own, still they have to pay the fees, and all these things comes in. So you have to keep all these things in mind. We will also be giving out the necessary instructions to our students, but to our schools. But all these things, it's online. But then the category of students is like before only, and then you have to check it properly. The poor quality of the photos and then the signature, if you don't do it right from your side, means this side, it will not come out clearly as already shared. So these are things like you have to keep in mind. And also that incomplete forms will not be accepted. It will be automatically rejected. So those things also you have to see that you are giving the correct particulars, and then you have to do the right thing. And in the last exam, we have many centers. We have 133 centers plus 4 sub-centers for the HSLC. And then for the higher secondary also, we had 96 examination centers. So the number of repeaters filling up of the forms, the repeaters category, all the centers will be having that category also. So here, our request to our center, the heads of institutions, the center superintendents, is you have to see that the repeaters also are briefed properly through your center, and then they give the right, they do the right thing, and then they give the particulars to us. That is, these are things like you cannot leave out anyone, and then from your center or from your school, candidate could not fill up, means for them to do submit individually, it will be a problem for the office again. So please consider the categories of the repeaters also carefully. And last year, due to the pandemic, we have given the provision of change of center to all the districts. But from this year, form filling up for the HSLC 2020 and the higher secondary 2020, the change of center will be allowed like before only to Kohima. To other districts, it is not allowed. It is not allowed. So please note that. Please note that. And now we have put a date for submission of the forms from 5th to 10 November. But then now the forms, the platform is already ready. And so anytime from today, we will give you the provision to our schools to start the form filling up of the forms by the candidates. And so you are given more time, because this is the first time all the schools are going for online form filling up. So we are giving you more time, and your submission date, if you have already finished and if you are ready to submit it, that also will be allowed. But then we are giving you more time, and instead of filling up only in the month of November, you will be allowed to fill up the forms from this month itself. So please keep a note of that, and then you have to inform your students, and then the students should be guided to form to fill up the forms accordingly. And there are times like we do commit mistakes from the board's office, but then to avoid mistakes from your side also, you should be very careful. And if a mistake comes from your office, means from your school or from your center where you are handling a small number, and here in our context, we will be dealing with a big number. So I would also like to request all the heads to keep a note of that, and that you give the correct particulars, so that at the later stage it is more convenient for the office as well as for you also to do a correction at the later stage. It's not convenient at all for the school, for the candidate, and also for the office. So let us keep that in mind, and let us inform the students accordingly to give the correct particulars. And then from the school side also, you have to take all precautions that you are giving us the correct particulars of the students to the board's office. And this is a little out of the, not for the form filling up, but then that today we have many heads and then a good number of our schools on board with us. So just wanted to also share another point for the higher secondary school living certificate examination, particularly the higher secondary schools. Please note that this year last year we have changed the weightage of marks from 90-10 to 80-20. So your internal marks for class 11 last year was 80 out of 20, and for this year for class 12 students, now it will be 80-20. So the internal marks that the internal assessment that you have to do, I hope you are doing right, but then it will be out of 20, and then even submission of the internal marks, it will be out of 20, the weightage of minimum pass mark is already given in our syllabus. So you have to keep that in mind and do the internal assessment, the project works or the practical works for science, and although there is no change, but then these things you should keep in mind and do the correct thing. And also for the HSLC as well as for the higher secondary school living certificate examinations 2022, there is no reduction of syllabus. There is no reduction of syllabus. So we are getting a lot of queries. Whether the board is going to give two sets of questions or all these things. But I would like to make it very clear to all of you today that there will be only one set of question paper for all the subjects, only one set of question paper for all the subjects of HSLC and higher secondary school living certificate examination also. But we will give more options. We will give more options in the question paper. And also, we will be giving out the blueprint of the question papers like last year. The blueprint of the question papers for HSLC and then the HSSLC examination also will be given out at a later date. And so what we have observed is in the last examination, even though some they could take a good note of the blueprint and then they could guide the students, we have also found that many teachers or maybe many schools, they have ignored the blueprint and then they could not guide the students with the blueprint that we have given. So from this year, when we give out the blueprint at a later stage, please know that this is the blueprint for this subject, and that the teacher should guide the students with the blueprint that we have given for the various subjects. And we cannot give all excuses to the pandemic. Of course, everybody has struggled, and then everybody has had their share of difficulties with the pandemic last year and this year too. But then it is my sincere request to all our heads of institutions that now it's October and that schools are open. So the teachers should be guided properly, and then the courses that has to be done, and that the remedial measures that needs to be given, all these things should be taken care of by the schools. Of course, I should also appreciate the schools that you have also given your best, and then with all the difficulties, you have take all the possible options to take good care of your students. But then if we don't take care of our students, means we cannot shift our responsibility to somebody else. We are in a situation like that. So please take a note of that also. And then our informations and all these things are going on to our schools through email or WhatsApp, or everything is made available in our website. So I would request our heads of institutions also to have a very good coordination with the board, and also with the teachers in the school, and so that you don't miss out anything in taking care of your students. So with these few words now, I will hand over the time to our technical team. Thank you.
Now we will give the time to our support team for their presentation and demo on how to do online form fill-ups. My request to all the heads of institutes is that though you may not be doing personally this, your assistant or there will be someone to do it for you. It's a request from our side to all the heads of institution to attend this demo till the end. This is not a very technical thing. It's just a demo on how to make use of this tool, which is being developed for the convenience of all of us. So to a layman, nowadays all these online things, they are not that complicated, but it's more or less to be used for the convenience of all our works. So my humble request to all of you to be patient with the demo, and then your queries you may type in the chat so that we will reply to it. And also this, as our chairman has said, this year, as per our academic calendar, the submission is scheduled from 5th to 10th November. But then, since this is a new thing to all of us, so we are letting the students fill up their forms beginning from this week. We will go live with the form fill-ups from this week itself. So those schools whose students finish their forms ahead of the schedule need not wait for the scheduled time. We will let the schools do ahead of the time, verify the forms and forward it to us ahead of the time. So that is a request to all of you. And then, as I have said in the beginning, but my voice was not audible to many, so I'm just repeating. Since this year is the first year, request to all our heads of institution to guide not only our regular students, but even the repeater students who comes to the schools, whose forms are to be forwarded by the schools. Thank you.
Hello, hi, this is KP. As Madam and Sir has given a brief introduction about the process of an online IIF, I will be walking through the process of how to fill up by the students and verified by the school, and then make the exam fee payment by the school and forward it to the NBAC for final approval. So basically, if you can see my screen, what you will see is the first step is the students have to go to the NBAC portal and then upload the photo and the signature. So this is the first step. Once this has been uploaded, the very important thing is the student have to submit the exam fee to the concerned school or the concerned center. So once the fee is being submitted to the school, the role of the school is to make sure that the student particulars are correct. And before verifying the particulars of the students, the schools have to make sure that the photo and the signature are clear and visible. And you also make sure that the particulars like the subject combination and the student details are also correct. So once this is done, the school will verify the student details. And then once the verification is completed, the schools will make the payment of the exam fee. So this is just like earlier, I believe the schools have made the exam fee of class 9, class 11. So this is the process is the same thing. And then once the payment is successful, the application will be forwarded to the NBAC. So please note that only those applications will be forwarded on completion of the online payment. So once the application has been forwarded to the NBAC, NBAC will make the approval of the IF. And so that is the complete process of online IF. Now, so what I'll do is I'll just walk through and give you a demo of the first step. So the students that have to upload the photo. So in order to upload the photo, the students have to go to the NBAC portal, go to the service, online IF, and select the categories of which the students belong to. So there will be 3 categories. One is the regular category, repeater, and the improvement. So I'll just go to the NBAC portal. Okay, but this is just a demo, so we are using a different URL for the demo purpose. But in your case, you will have to go to the nbacnl.edu.in. So this is just an information. So once you go to the portal, you'll have to go to navigate to the services, online IF, and depending on the category of the student, you make sure that you select appropriate category, or else your student data will not be found in the portal. So I'll just show you an example of a regular student. So we select the regular students. So this is the form for a regular IF student. So I will take an example of a student. So this student is a class 12 student. So this is the registration number. So I have to select the class. enter the registration number and the date of birth of the students. Just make sure that your date of birth is correct and the format is in the date, month, and year format. If you enter the wrong format, the system will not accept it. Also, in this case, for a regular student, we are entering the registration number. But for an improved or repeaters, not improve, the repeater students, they'll have to enter the previous year's roll number. Okay, now for regular students, like I said, you'll have to enter the registration number, the date of birth, and the CAPTCHA. So CAPTCHA is the image what you see on the left side, and then you search click on search. So on the next page, what you'll see is you will see the bio data of the student. So basically, we are in this process. Okay, so this is the details of the students. These are just dummy data for you for a demo purpose. Now, what you'll see is the category of the students, the session, gender, registration number, all the details. And this is the subject combination. So these are the subject combinations. Now, this is the most important part. Now, while uploading the images, you have to make sure that the image is in the JPG format. And the maximum size of the image should be 100 KB. Please note that if you see on the right side, there's a guidelines for uploading a photo and a signature. So, for example, this is an acceptable image. If you can see this one, if you can see the point of my mouse. Now, if a student is uploading images, simple images like this will not be acceptable by NDAC. In such cases, you have to make sure that the students re-upload the images again. Similarly, for the signature, this is an acceptable signature. Likewise, if you can see this one. So the head of the school or the centers, they have to make sure that you give a proper instruction to the students to upload a proper photo and signature, else it will be rejected. Now, coming back to our data, if you can see, so in the phone number, you have to make sure that you enter a valid phone number. Now, this phone number will be used for communications. Okay, now you make sure that you use the phone number of a student so that once the IF forms is submitted, all the notification of approval, reject, this notification will be sent to the registered phone number. Now, in the email, if you have email, you can use email, but if not, then it is an optional for the students. Now, uploading the photo, if you can see, so you select a photo. So this is a sample photo which I've selected. So after selecting the photo, if you can see, there will be a preview available, how the photo will look like once on the IF or the admit card, how the layout will be in the printout. Similarly for the signature, so this is the signature preview. So once this is done, just give a consent and click on submit. Now, once the form is successfully submitted, what you will see is you will get a reference number of the IF application. And very important note, you have to make sure that the students submit the IF fee, which is nothing but the exam fee, to the concerned school. So this is the name of your school or the center will appear here. Now this is just a demo school, so this is a dummy data only. And the fee will also be displayed in the successful message, as well as another important thing is an additional fee of 100 is applicable for the center repeaters. So they'll have to submit additional of 100 rupees, which will be retained by the center schools. Now, The student will also receive an SMS regarding the successful submission. And this is the reference number which the students can use for tracking the status of the IF application. Now the part of the student is done. Now the second step will be the part of the second step. The second step will be the third step will be the school has to verify the particulars of the student's student details. Now, in order for the schools to verify the IF application submitted by the students, what they'll have to do is they'll have to go to the school login. So if you go to the portal, you can just go to the school login and the school ID. This is a demo ID. So you'll just log into the school. So the school will log in, and if you can, you navigate to the IF. On the left menu, there's an IF application. So if you can see, this is the IF reference number that was submitted by the student. So this is the same IF application ID. So what the school have to do is just go to the option, click on view, and you make sure that all these particulars are accurate and correct. And you have to make sure that the students' photo and as well as the signatures are correct. So this is the responsibility of the schools and the centers. Now, once this is, if the schools find it to be okay, they can just use the verify option to approve the IF application. Now, in case if the student data, let's say the images are not accurate, in that case, you can just reject the application. Say, I'll just show you how to reject it, and then after that, I'll just show you how to approve it. So if you want to reject the application, just go to the reject. So make sure that you give a proper remark, the reason of the reject. Say, let's say the photo is not clear. So just give a proper instruction, a proper remark saying that photo is not clear. Kindly re-upload the photo again. So in this case, the students will know that the reason of the rejection. So let's say I'll just reject the application. Now, the students will receive an SMS notification saying that his IF has been rejected. In that case, what the students have to do is they'll have to go back and re-upload the IF. So in this case, now you will have to use a re-upload option. So the students have to go to the service online IF. Again, you'll see an option called re-upload in case it is rejected. Now, this will only work if the application has been rejected. If the application is not rejected, then re-upload option will not work. So just enter your IF reference number. So this is the IF reference number of the student. And enter the CAPTCHA. So if you search this one, okay, searching. Okay, let me try again. I think we have a slow connection. So enter the reference number 791369, the CAPTCHA. So it will redirect you to the re-upload page. Now, this is the uploaded file of the student. Now, if you want to re-upload it again, and then you come back here again, just select the photo again. Okay, I'll just say, let's say I'll just re-upload this photo. And then click on submit. Now this has been again successfully submitted. On the successful submission, the school will receive the IF again. So coming back, if you can see, the new photo has been updated, so the schools can go back and view it. So this is the new photo. And at the same time, you will see the status history of the IF. I will be briefing you about the status also. So this was the reason why it was rejected, and the students have re-uploaded the photo again. Now that, let's say now everything is correct, so the schools will verify it as it means approve it. So the remark is optional. So if you want to give a remark, you can just give approve or verified by school. And then give your consent and then verify it. So once the forms is verified, the next thing that you have to do is the school have to make sure that you make a payment of the exam fee. So before making a payment of a single student, just make sure that you verify all your students and then make a single payment. Now, this is the same process how you have made a payment of class 9 and class 11 exam fee. So once this IF is verified, if you come, you'll see here verified by school, or you just select all the status, and then you'll see that this has been verified. This application has been verified by the school. Now let's assume that there are multiple students. In our case, we have only one, but let's say you have 10 students, you verify all the 10 students, and then the list of the verified by school will appear here. After that, what you do is go to the exam fee and make the exam fee payment. So go to the exam fee, click on make payment. So in this case, you make sure that you select the appropriate class. I believe we have done it for the class 12. Let me check the stream. Okay, it's science. So let's go to the again, make payment, class 12. The stream is science. So proceed. So the list of one student is appearing in the exam fee payment. Now, remember that only those verified students will appear in this list. If the schools has not verified the students, then in the list this will not appear. So you just click on select onto the students and proceed with the payment. So the payment, so this, just confirm it, make payment. This will redirect you to the payment gateway. So this is just a test payment gateway. So we are using some test data for payment purpose. So in the production, it will be a little different. Why? Is because we have internet banking service as well as debit and credit card. Now, this is the sample test credentials. So proceed with the payment. So enter the OTP. Please note that this will be different from bank to bank. So once the payment is been successful, that means that the application has been forwarded to the NBAC. So NBAC will verify and accept your application depending on the certain criteria and rules. So basically, this is just the process of how to fill up and verify, and then forward it to the NBSE. So if you want to go and check the payment history, you can just go to the exam fee. Just go to the exam fee and you'll see the successful payments. So if you click onto the view, you will see that the details of the payment as well as the details of the students which the payment was done. So you can see here, this under in this section, you'll see the transaction details. Transaction detail is nothing but the payment details. And in this section, you'll see the student details. So you'll see this amount, the amount of the exam fee, as well as the details of the students. Now, if you want to take a printout of the receipt, you can just click on view the receipt and then you can take a printout. Another thing, if you want to go and check the IF details, you can go back and select an all status, search. Sorry guys, we had a slow connection. Let me retry once again from a different tab. Go back to the school login. Okay. So you can see all status. So you'll see the status, the details of the student has been verified. Another thing for the school, one very important thing is if you go to the user manual under this section, if you can see this section, there's a menu called user manuals. Under this one, you'll see, since this is a development, there's no user manual here, but if you log into your school dashboard, you will see a list of user manuals, which all the user manuals will be there. So I will recommend and advise the schools, the head of the school or the whoever is operating the thing, to go through the user manuals first, because this is the crucial part. If you go through the user manual, I believe 80 to 90% of your thing will be cleared. And for the student, okay, I'll just show you from the production. If you go to the NBSE portal, under the help section, you'll see a user's manual. Under this one, yeah, this is for the students mainly. So if you can see the user manual, whatever I've gone through, all the user manuals will be here. And another thing, we will be uploading the tutorial videos in the YouTube of NBSE official channel, and then we'll be giving the link to you through a WhatsApp. So if you can see, all the user manual instruction will be here. So another thing, I think that's pretty much it. Sir, if they have any question, they can ask. Yeah, if you have any queries, you can give us your queries in the chat also. Yes, I believe somebody has asked, can you pay in bulk? Yes, actually, that is the advisable thing because of, see, for, yeah, for making bulk payment, that is the recommended one. Why? Is because every transaction, there is a convenience fee charged by the payment gateway. So it is advisable for you to make a bulk payment, a single payment. What about correction of incorrect subject selection or those who is? See, currently we do not have a provision for the students to make payments. See, one thing is, earlier we have an offline format of collecting the IF. So basically, the offline thing has been converted to an online. So earlier also, you will be collecting the students, the IF or exam fee from the students. Likewise, you will be collecting, but instead of you depositing to the bank account, now you are making the online payment gateway service. Okay. Yeah. The
This is reply to the query where can we get the registration number. This registration number, we issue the registration card to each and every students. For class 10 student, HSLC students, it will be their class 9 or 8 registration number. And then for the higher secondary students, it is the class 11 registration number. That class 11 registration card, uh, which is with the students, they'll have to give that registration number. Another query here is whether this demo is only for PC, will it be like for phones? For the phones, we are developing an app which will take some more time, but we are trying to finish it as far as possible this month itself. But then before that, they will have to use only a PC. And then this year, since it is the first time, as I have said earlier, we request the schools to let the students make use of the computer facilities in the schools to submit their students now, and then it will be convenient for the schools also if they can let their students, their own students, do it in bulk from the schools itself, so that that way the schools can verify in bulk and submit in bulk. One thing regarding the submission of photo and signature is if you have a scanner, that will be best. But even if you don't have, you can capture the photo from using a smartphone and then transfer it to the PC and upload it. Regarding correction of particulars and subject combination, in case there are errors in the form, this form is nothing but the particulars submitted by the schools as on 1st April and as on 1st June. So that will be uploaded. So in case, if at all there are some discrepancy in the particulars, the correction is through the usual way of applying for correction by the schools with their documents, their registration card or whatever. So in the meantime, you can upload let the student upload submit their forms, and then simultaneously apply for the correction. But please ensure that you check their particulars properly, and especially the subject combination, because that is going to affect them during the examination. Thank you.
Okay.
There is a query here in the chat. HSLC and HSSLC is to be submitted the exam fee separately or in one time. So as it has been shown in the demo, the fee payment, it has to be done class-wise. You select for one class, do that payment for your students in bulk for that class, and then you have to go for the other class, the higher secondary or HSLC. So those cannot be done together. The two classes cannot be done together. It has to be done separately, because as you have seen in the demo, students' list will be separate for both the classes.
Somebody has asked give the details of the size of the passport and the signature. So I believe that will be given in the instruction. And another question was there, while uploading the photo and signature, only JPG. So it will accept the JPG also file also. And then see, the maximum size is 100 KB. So I'll give, if you do not have this all photo editors, what you can do is, let's assume that this is the photo. So what you can do is, if in Windows 7 and Windows 10, there will be a tool called snipping tool. So if you can use this snipping tool, what you can do is you can just snip the image. If you can see on the screen, just snip this one and it will capture it as an image, and then you can save it. Okay. So what you can do is you can save it, save as, and then give an appropriate file name. So see, to convert that file format, what you can do is just select on this JPG and then save it. So this is the best way to do it, to convert the format also. You may be taking the pictures through a mobile phone. In that way, what you can do is you can just use this process which I've shown, and then the file size will also appear as per the requirement in the portal. So if you can see, just go to the properties. So this is the file format, and the size is also within the limit. So the total size is just 45 KB. So in this way, you can just resize the images also. Okay. Regarding the repeaters, I will just show you for the repeaters. So go to the service, online IF, and then click onto the repeater. So the repeaters will have their all previous year's roll number. Okay, but I'll just give a demo how to submit for the repeaters and then show you the verification also. So go to the class. I'll just enter the roll number. This is the date of birth. 5, 2, 6, 3, 4, 8, 2. So this is the usual process. So once the application is submitted, the schools will have to log in. So go to the IF, and then you will see the pending. See, so by default, all categories is selected. So if you want to filter out only the, say, center repeater, then you can just filter it out. But by default, all the categories is listed now. So if you want to verify the same process with the regular, so go to the view option. So go to the view. And then verify. So the process is more or less the same. So this is how you verify the center repeater or the improvement.
There is a query here, how to fill the compartmental form. That for the compartmental category, we will give instructions again. Here is a query, who will verify the IAF for repeaters? So this query, the demo has been given just now. Any schools, when you go through the verification menu, there all the categories will appear. If the categories by default, it comes as all categories, but there you can segregate it to verify regulars separately and repeaters separately. So in the categories, if you have any repeater category uh, of students submitting their forms through your schools, then when your school log into the portal, you can view it from the IF section. So in case there are repeater students to be forwarded by your schools, it will appear in the IF section as same as the regular students. So the schools are to make sure that they don't leave out any repeater category students, because some schools will be forwarding only just the fresh repeaters, but some schools will be center schools who are supposed to forward their center repeaters. So those categories of students also will appear in the IF section, if at all they have applied.
Since most of the head of the schools are already here, I want to highlight one very important thing. When you face any technical issue or any queries, please create a ticket for a support team. Now, if you go to the NBAC portal, you will see on the footer on the left side here, there's an icon called NBAC Help Desk. You go to the NBAC Help Desk and you create a ticket. So this is the ticketing tool. So before creating a ticket, if you can see, you will find the user manual also. How to create a ticket, how to check the status of a ticket. Now, before creating a ticket, you make sure that you have the proper details, like what is the issue or the error that you are facing. Let's say just enter your name, your email address. I'm just using a demo. This is just a dummy email, okay? But for your case, you make sure that you're using a valid email, because all the notification and the queries will be sent through email, and all the communication will be done only through email, no phone calls. So you can enter your phone number, enter the give your school name, code, address if applicable. Now from here, you make sure that you select an appropriate topic. So let's say there's an issue. So in the brief summary, you enter a brief summary of what is the issue you're facing. Say, for example, unable to make payment. So this can be a brief summary. Now, in the detailed description, you have to give us a detailed description, such as like you're making a payment from, say, for making payment for class 10, making payment for class 10, or the error of the screenshot. If there is an error, you just attach the screenshot of your error. So I'll just attach this file, and then give the detailed description of what is the issue that you are facing. Because without proper information, most of the time we are unable to resolve the issue. So after this, you just create a ticket. Okay, the phone number is not valid. So you just create a ticket. So once a ticket is being successfully created, an email will be sent to your registered, the ticket details will be sent to your email ID. So you have to make sure that you are given a valid email ID. So if you want to, another thing is, if you want to check the status of the ticket, you can just go here, enter the email ID and the ticket number. I'll just a minute. So this is the email ID which was provided. You just enter the email ID and the ticket number. So this information will be sent to you through an email. So this is the ticket number, and you can click on view the ticket. So this is where you can view the information of the ticket. Now, the support team may be asking some queries like, for example, what is the class or what is the registration number of the student, or can you provide the student details? In such cases, the support team will reply through a ticket. So let's say the support team has replied something. So in this case, they have replied. In most of the cases, what happened is you will get an email notification. Most of the schools, they are replying the ticket in the email. If you are replying to an email, the support team is not monitoring that email. So that is just an automated message received from the system. So if you want to reply an email, reply the ticket, you come to this same process and then you can just reply here. So just post the reply. So this information will be passed to the support team accordingly. So this is the process. Acha, I think I did not cover one topic here. Okay, if you want to know the status of an IIF, if you go to the check IIF application status, so basically these are the status information. Pending is basically IIF application is under process. Verified by the school means the school has already made the verification of the student particulars. Rejected by school means either the photo is not clear or signature something due to some reason it has been rejected by the school. Approved by NBAC means that is finally accepted by NBAC. So rejected by NBAC means again for some reason it was rejected. In such two reject cases, rejected by the school, rejected by the NBAC, in such cases the students can still go and re-upload their photo and signature. Yeah. Re-upload as it means you make sure that the photo and the signature are as per the requirement by the NBAC. If not, then it will be rejected again. I think we don't have more questions now. So I think we can, if there's no question, I think we can wrap it up now.
There are some queries here regarding the repeaters, but I think we have made it clear to you earlier, but I'm just repeating. For the repeaters, the students, when they submit their form, the repeater students, the software will just direct their forms to the schools. For regular repeaters, fresh repeaters, it will just go to the previous schools. And then for the center repeaters, it will just go to the previous center schools. So whenever a school log in and then go for verification of their students, they're under the categories regular and repeater or center repeater. You select the categories and then you can just check whether there are any regular repeaters to be verified, any center repeater to be verified, that you can get in your account, in the account of the schools. So the schools, as and when they log in, you can check the status of your students applying, whether regular or repeater. So I hope for now we have cleared the queries as far as possible, but in case still if there are some issues, you can just always get in touch with us through the help desk. And then like it was said earlier, we will be uploading the video manuals of how to do in the in our YouTube channel, and then the link will be sent to all the WhatsApp groups. As well, at the same time, there will be a user manual. If the schools log into their account, under user manual, there will be a new category of manual for how to verify the forms. So you can always go through the manuals and check out how to do. With those things, I will be concluding today's meeting. On behalf of the board and chairman, thank all of you for attending today's meeting. We will be looking forward to your support in the coming days and for the successful implementation of these online form submissions. And then one thing I want to re-emphasize again is that this is not for this year only. This from now on we will be onto this system. So it's not to we are not going to go back to the old system. From now on, we will be making use of these tools in the coming years. So once again, we look forward to your support and then for your cooperation in the coming days. Thank you all.